A warm welcome to the show. In this episode, we explore the intersection between nature and culture. And we begin with inspiring stork rehabilitation efforts, followed by a heartwarming rescue to save a kangaroo. Finally, we turn to a forgotten story from World War II, where the fates of animals and people were bound together in extraordinary circumstances. For Poles, the stork isn't just a bird. It's a piece of living folklore, bringing prosperity and good luck. Not many know that in Britain they were wiped from the skies centuries ago. Now a hospital in Warsaw, of all places, is bringing them back. Alex Sumlinsky reports.
For Poles, the stork is more than just a bird. It's a symbol of home, good fortune, and continuity. But that wasn't the case in 15th century Britain. Storks were served as a delicacy at medieval banquets, and in some regions, a stork on the roof was a sign of infidelity. And so in Britain, storks vanished from the skies for centuries. Now, thanks in part to birds from Poland, they're slowly returning.
A wealthy Scotsman provided the funding. We signed a contract for 300 birds. We've delivered 230 and some are still waiting to be shipped. In May, we'll hold talks about another batch of birds. The storks have been placed in various locations, like rehabilitation centres, where they nested and began breeding.
In Warsaw, the Bird Asylum, a specialized rehabilitation center at the Warsaw Zoo, is playing a key role in that effort, caring for injured storks and giving them a second chance.
About 50% of our birds are released back into the wild. That number goes up and down, but we do everything we can to help birds with less severe injuries to return to their natural habitat.
Some birds will never fly again, but they can still breed. Wing injuries aren't passed on to their young. Chicks are born healthy and able to fly, contradicting the theory known as Wysenkoism, according to which traits acquired during an animal's life can be inherited by its offspring.
They killed off the storks, and for over 500 years there were no storks in the British Isles. And at our rehabilitation centre we have storks with damaged wings, but functioning legs, eager to breed. And contrary to Lysenko's theory, the babies are functional, healthy, flying storks.
In 2020, the Knepp estate in West Sussex and Storrington saw their first young storks hatch in the wild in over 600 years. There's the well-known European myth that storks bring babies. In Poland, storks are more than just a familiar sight. For many Poles, the stork's return from Africa after the winter signals continuity and stability, especially in rural life.
Storks have always been present in the countryside. They settled close to people, and it's remarkable that such a large, charismatic bird would breed so close to them. People gave them names, observed them, had different theories about their lives and fidelity, and treated them as a part of the landscape.
Poland hosts approximately up to 47,000 pairs of white storks, around 25% of the global population, making it one of Europe's key strongholds for the species and a vital hub for their conservation. Centers like Warsaw's Bird Asylum play an important role in rescuing, rehabilitating, and returning injured birds to the wild.
And now a heartwarming story. Stefcia, a red kangaroo who survived a rocky start. Pushed out of her mother's pouch by her older brother, Stefcia was hand-raised by Warsaw zookeepers. Take a look at her incredible journey.
Welcome to the Warsaw Zoo. And we're here today to meet a very special, very resilient young lady. And her name is Stefcia. Stefcia is only 10 months old, but has gone through a lot since the very first days of her life. She only gets to be a happy and healthy kangaroo thanks to the dedication of Dawid Wdowiński. Born here at the Warsaw Zoo last summer, she was only a little joey when her brother kicked her out of their mother's pouch. The zookeepers decided not to give up on the baby kangaroo and filled in for the absent mother.
We had to take Stefcia home with us because she needed to be fed every 3 to 4 hours. We also had to monitor her well-being, how she was developing, if she was gaining weight.
The zookeepers prepared a substitute pouch to carry the little kangaroo and keep her warm. It's not the same as a mother's loving touch, but it's the second best option. Then, time came to reintroduce Stefcia to the herd. While her relationship with her mother and brother couldn't be saved, she managed to find other friends.
The herd accepted her. She quickly began hanging out with other kangaroos.
Red kangaroos are the largest living marsupials. Within 2 years, Stefcia could reach a height of up to 120 centimeters. We wish her many healthy and blissful years at the Warsaw Zoo.
Warsaw Zoo is a place of joy and nature, but during World War II it became the backdrop for an extraordinary story of courage and survival. This is the story of Jan and Antonina Żabińscy, who risked their lives to save others. Natalia Komarow reports.
The zoo, usually a place of joy. But, as with many places in Warsaw, this zoo has dark chapters in its history, particularly during World War II.
It became a park for the Germans, patrolled every day.
This is the true story which inspired the 2017 film The Zookeeper's Wife, starring Jessica Chastain.
Thousands of people are dying. The littlest of children.
We have room. We could hide them.
Antonina Żabińska, the woman who inspired the film's protagonist, was the wife of Jan Żabiński, the first ever director of the Warsaw Zoo. The couple moved into this villa in 1931, as soon as it was finished. The idea was the zookeeper should live at the zoo. Soon, Jan and Antonina welcomed their first child, a blissful life.
There were so many animals around here. They created such an unusual atmosphere. The house got nicknamed the Crazy Star Villa.
Jan was a zoologist, a professor at the Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Antonina too was very well educated, but she was more known for her heart. She had an extraordinary ability to connect with animals. Their blissful life was interrupted in September of 1939. Most zoo animals were killed by German bombs. Warsaw was under occupation, and within months, its residents realized one group was particularly targeted: the Jews.
In 1940, Antonina and Jan noticed the growing persecution of the Jewish community, including their friends and co-workers. They decided to open their door to those in need.
Between 1940 and 1944, at least 298 souls were saved thanks to being hidden in these dark, cold basements. And because one never knew when the Germans might knock on the door, Antonina came up with a secret code.
She loved music, she was a pianist. It was a simple system based on two melodies. Often Bach's La Belle Hélène meant danger. It meant the Germans were in the house, it meant run. There was a tunnel from the basement to the then empty animal cages, where one could wait out the danger until they heard Chopin. Chopin meant it was safe to return to the house.
In 1944, Jan got involved in the Warsaw Uprising. He then spent 14 months in various German camps.
He was heavily wounded, needed something to do, just to survive. And he was talented. Another inmate shared his pencils.
These sketches, mostly caricatures, prove that with a little sense of humor, one can survive the worst. After the war, Jan and Antonina were recognized by Yad Vashem as righteous among the nations. They lived in this beautiful villa until 1951, when the communist regime banned them from entering the zoo for life due to their open opposition to Stalinism. Their legacy, however, lives on. Today, the Warsaw Zoo bears the name of Jan and Antonina Żabińscy.
And now it's time for Culture Beats, your weekly roundup of what's going on in the world of culture. And we start off with the top charity art exhibition that has just opened in Warsaw. It is an annual exhibition that brings together contemporary art, philanthropy and social dialogue, set in the historic Royal Wilanów Palace. Karolina Szapland has more.
Tonight, Warsaw's gilded elites have gathered here in the Baroque gardens near the Old Orangery. The occasion? Well, an art auction organized by Omena Mensa. For those in the know, she's one of the biggest movers and shakers of the Polish art scene. Part philanthropist, discerning collector of Ghanaian art, and, not entirely incidentally, wife of one of Poland's wealthiest men, Rafał Brzoska.
This edition of the fifth season of the Top Charity Art is dedicated to actually African artists, international artists and Polish artists. It's a kind of the bridge between Poland and between Ghana. And this combination of all these assets which we have created together and combined together made me proud of Poland, proud of openness of our community, and my husband, who is constantly joining me and supporting me in all my ideas and initiatives.
The art on show is an eclectic mix. From the textile sculptor Magdalena Bakanowicz, widely considered Poland's most influential artist of the post-war era, to up-and-coming younger names like Karolina Żądło, with her sensual portraits inspired by the pre-Raphaelites. To world's leading Scottish pop artist Philip Colbert, whose alter ego The Lobster allows him to create art that is whimsical and accessible on a grand scale.
So you're looking at my alter ego, which is a lobster persona, disguised as a flower in this beautiful setting next to one of the most important palaces in Poland. My first time actually visiting Poland, so I feel very honored to be here.
The quality of the work on show is undeniably high, as attested by London-based curator and critic Echo Eshen.
These are world-leading artists whose work, whose imagination, whose creative reach I think is outstanding. It's really exciting to see this work in this location, in this city, at this time.
And not forgotten is the patron's specialist subject, contemporary African art, represented by such stalwarts as the Ghanaian Ibrahim Mahama. Proceeds from the sales will fund a variety of social causes championed by Omena and her billionaire husband, from supporting gifted Polish scientists and artists to freeing Ghanaian children from bonded labor. The pieces will hang here for next 2 months, a rare chance for the general public to contemplate art that is soon to grace the walls of the rich and famous, and all for a good cause. For TVP World, I'm Karolina Szapland.
And if you're in the mood for some films and maybe some fresh air too, then honestly you should think about spending a weekend in Cieszyn. The Kino na Granicy Festival has a bit of everything. Retrospectives of the Czech and Polish New Wave, films by directors like Agnieszka Holland, Jan Hrebejk and Marek Koterski, plus some of the most interesting recent titles. And the best part, it's not just about sitting in a cinema. The whole experience kind of spills outside. Between screenings, you're just walking around Cieszyn, crossing the border back and forth, soaking up the atmosphere. And with this, we conclude Pulse of Culture. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for more.